Good morning and Merry Christmas. So today what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to read you this cute little story called A Bit of Applause for Mrs. Claus. Was the night after Christmas, and time for a pause. Collapsed in the corner sat tired Mrs. Claus. The stockings were crooked, the house was a mess. The tree had tipped over, she couldn't care less. Her muscles were aching, her feet were so sore, the overworked spouse couldn't take any more. She'd addressed all the cards from a mile-long list, then received several more from some friends she had missed. With the elves she'd wrapped presents for many nights through, with tape on their fingers, bows, paper, and glue. When she'd lifted her nose, turned her head to the side, she had smelled something burning. "My cookies!" she cried. She was chubby and plump, quite a jolly old soul, from testing each goody and licking the bowl. At last all was done. By the skin of her teeth, the mistletoe hung with the holly and wreath. Then Santa had cried as he left on his flight, "You're the greatest, my dear. Merry Christmas. Good night." The elves were all sleeping, each tucked into bed, but visions and fantasies danced in their head. Come next year, no more baking or trimming the tree. On the beach with the elves, that is where she will be. And then she envisioned a gorgeous new sable with emeralds and rubies hung down to her navel. When up on the roof there arose such a clatter, it ended her dreaming. Now, what is the matter? Away to the window she flew like a flash. As she tripped on the clutter, hopped over the trash. When what to her weary red eyes did appear but the emptied out sleigh and 8 hungry reindeer. And the little old driver, so lively and quick, was worn out by his travels. Could this be Saint Nick? "Will you see to the reindeer, my darling?" he said, kissed his wife, said, "I love you," and took his to bed. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, here Comet, here Cupid, here Donner and Blitzen. Come down off my roof and be careful, don't fall. You need some warm food and fresh hay in your stall. Well done, dear, she said fondly. Though standing there freezing, her thoughts then returned to her efforts this season. She had toiled all day long and was covered with soot, and her clothing was stained from her head to her foot. spoke not a word, for she felt quite berserk, and she heaved a big sigh. She had done so much work. She flopped in a chair with no breath left to whistle. A smile on her face made her finally look blissful. Mrs. Claus could still smile as she relieved these scenes, for she knew of her part in fulfilling our dreams. Santa Claus gets the credit, though everyone knows Mrs. Claus is the one who deserves hallowed praise. So let's give a cheer for our own Mrs. Claus. Her love and her work rate a special applause. A bit of applause for Mrs. Claus. Hip, hip, hooray. So remember, Merry Christmas, and remember all your moms out there, and even your dads, who bake all the cookies and give us all Christmas cheer. Have a Merry Christmas.